Right. I believe you are blessed with the stories we've already shared. And now I want to give you the fourth story of what the Lord did for me. This time it was completely different than the previous times. I had an issue of blood, just like the woman in the New Testament who touched Jesus' hem. And I asked for somebody to pray for me. It was very bad, and I was healed, instantly healed. And I praised God, and I was free for 2 years. But after 2 years, it came back with a vengeance. And at that time in my life, I was just in a difficult time, and I was tired of fighting to be whole, to be made whole. And I said, Lord, I'm too tired to fight now. I'm even too tired to stand in faith. I'm just going to hospital, and I'm just going to have a hysterectomy. That's it. And I made the choice. But because I'm living by faith and I do not have a medical aid plan, I had to go to state hospital. But this was perfectly God's plan. You're not going to believe this. All this was His plan. All this was His doing. I ended up in the Coronation on the West Rand, Coronation Hospital. Well, as I entered, I was shocked. There were 20 beds in the ward. I was the only one not of color, and I stood out like a pale something. And there were no pillows on the beds, torn sheets. And I thought, Lord, this is terrible. And I don't mind the torn sheets, but I cannot sleep without a pillow. So I just wandered around the floor, all the wards. I was looking for pillows, and I collected 3. As I stepped into the ward, I heard the Holy Spirit say to me, you don't keep these pillows for you. Give that lady one and give that lady one, and then you keep one for yourself. Well, I did that. And then the next shocker was that you don't get food in bed. They just put it on plastic tables out there, and the food was terrible. It was absolutely horrific, and I decided to go on a fast. But that did not last long, because the Spirit said to me, you do not keep yourself one side. You go sit with these ladies, and you eat with them. So I sat there. I tried to eat. I did not always finish my plate of food, but I was with them, and I sat over there. Then they started discussing me. And of course, I didn't understand, because I do not understand their language. And the second day, the one lady said to me, do you realize that we are discussing you? I said, well, I do realize that, but what can I do? I do not understand what you're saying. She says, we want to know why you come in here and your family doesn't bring you bedding from home, and they don't bring you food from home either, like the white people normally do. And here you are, you just collect 3 pillows, you give each lady either side of you one, you sit here with us and we're discussing you, we're laughing at you, and you're just sitting here. Why? Why are you different? So I could explain to them where I come from, that I've been on the mission fields, I grew up in a manse, my dad was a pastor, and there's no difference. But you see, this was all God's plan, because then a lady arrived who was pregnant, and she looked like the baby was to be born any minute. And I walked over to her as she was weeping in a Bible. Her Bible had no outer page, it was just the inner pages, and it was soaking wet the way she wept. And I said to her, what's wrong? What's happening? And she says, I said, when is your baby due? She says, this thing is not a baby. This is witchcraft. Because my mother-in-law is a professor in witchcraft, the highest rank in the Transkei in witchcraft. She says, and I've been cursed because she doesn't want her son to have a baby with a Christian girl. How bad is that? And the Lord said to me, you are in this hospital not for you. You are in this hospital for her. Because no professor in witchcraft is going to come against my daughter who trusts and believes me. And I needed you here today, not to save her womb, but to save a generation. And it was amazing, because the Lord gave me the complete plan. And she said, they're going to remove this thing, which is not a baby, and they're going to remove the womb along with it, because the x-rays show that that is the problem. I said, well, we're going to pray that that thing will remove itself now from your womb completely. And then to give you a sign that it has happened, there must be a show of blood in your bed when you wake up tomorrow morning. I said, if you see that, will you believe? She said, I will believe, because there was never blood in the 9 months. So the morning she woke up and there was a show of blood. And she was so excited. And we called the sister in from the theater sister, and we said, listen, we know the x-ray shows this, but this changed in this night. So don't let them take her womb out when they do the operation. When it's separate, let them only take this evil thing out of her, but not her womb. Well, now you can imagine, because I was one with these women, and I was not separate, and we were like a pack of lionesses, man, and we were all in this, because we were all fighting for this young woman. You see how God works. We can never be one side. We have to connect with people all the time. Well, she went in for the operation, and we sat there, big eyes, waiting on the door, waiting for that bed to come in. And as the sister pushed her bed in after the operation, she shouted, we saved her womb, we saved her womb. And the Lord said, thank you, because you did not save a womb. But this is a first fruit for South Africa, that no witch doctor, no witchcraft will stand against my children in this nation. This is much bigger than just what happened there at Coronation Hospital that day. Much more. This is for South Africa. That you are a child of God. I am a child of God. No person trusting and believing witch doctors can do anything against you or me, because we serve the only living God.